Good morning, my dear students. This is Meenal Murhekar. Welcomes you all in the online tutorial of Shri Eknath Rao Khadse Talent School, Muktai Nagar. Okay, so students, today we are going to see the part second of the chapter 4, that is structure of atom, from class 9. Okay, so in previous part, what we have learned, we have seen the different models or different atomic models given by different scientists. We have seen Thomson's atomic model, we have gone through Rutherford's atomic model with his drawbacks, and we have seen Neil Bohr's atomic model. Okay, along with this we have seen the discovery of electron, proton and neutrons too. So in this part, in today's part, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn about how the electrons are distributed in different orbits. In these orbits, how the electrons are arranged, what is the valency, what is the atomic number, atomic mass, isotopes and isobars. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn in this part. So first of all, just take out your books and see page number 49. Okay, so just see here. See how the electrons are distributed in different orbits. The distribution of electrons into different orbits of an atom was suggested by Bohr and Bury. Bohr, Neil Bohr and Bury. These were the two scientists who have given how the electrons were distributed in different orbits. So, the following rules are followed for writing the number of electrons in different energy levels or shell. What we have called them? We have called them energy levels or shells or orbits. Okay, so the here some rules are given how the electrons are going to be filled in this energy shells. Okay, so first rule was what? The maximum number of electrons present in a shell is given by formula 2n square. So how much electron does, how much maximum number of electron does an orbit can keep, that was given by a formula that is 2n square. Okay, now here where n is the number of energy level index, here n is what? N is number of orbit. We have seen that what we have named is orbit K, L, M, N, and by number n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. For K shell, the n will be 1, L it's 2, for M it's 3, and for N it's 4. Is it clear? Now see. Hence, the maximum number of electrons in different shell are as follows. Now see how the electrons are arranged. Are you clear with now n? For K it's 1, for L it's 2, for M it's 3, n equals to 3, and for N it's 4. Okay. So, the first orbit or K shell will be, now we are going to find that how maximum electrons does K shell have. So, see here 2n square. Now, for K shell, when we are talking about K shell, what is happening here? For K shell, number of orbit equals to small n equals to what? 1. So, 2 into 1 square equals to 1 ka square 1 equals to 2. So, the maximum number of electrons that K shell have is 2. So, from this formula 2n square formula, we got to know that K shell will accommodate 2 electrons in it. Maximum number of electrons present in K shell will be what? 2 electrons. Okay. Now, see for L shell. For L shell, 2 into, for L here, for L the number of orbit, Okay, now just see here. For L, the number of orbit n will be what? For L, it will be 2. So square of 2, 4. 4 2s are 8. So here from this 2n square formula we can conclude that L shell can have 8 electrons maximum inside it. Okay. After this, when we talk about M shell, so see here. Here the number of orbit will be 3 for M shell. Number of orbit n equals to 3 square. 2 into 3 square, it's 9. So it will be what? It will be 18. So from here we can conclude that M shell will accommodate how much electrons? 18 electrons. While for N shell, 2 into number of orbit for N shell will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So see here, 2 into 4, 4 square, 16. 16 twos are 32. So the maximum number of electrons occupied by N shell will be how much? 32 electrons, and so on. If the number of shell increase, so in this way the number of electrons, maximum number of electrons filled in the outermost, filled in these orbits will goes on increasing in this way only with the formula 2n square. Okay, so this was the first rule. I hope this will be clear to you. Now see, the second rule was the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit is 8. So the second rule is what? That the maximum number of electrons that an outermost shell can accommodate is 8. Means if this is the outermost orbit for some element, then this orbit will occupy 8 electrons. Okay, not more than this. Means each if this, suppose for any other element this is the outermost orbit, so this will occupy 8 electrons. For this, if it is the outermost, then it will occupy 8 electrons. Okay, so second rule is what? The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit is 8. Okay, so now see, electrons are not accommodated in given shell. Means third rule is electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless the inner shell are filled. That is, the shells are filled in stepwise manner. Third rule is what? Means if we have provided within electrons, we are not directly going to insert these electrons in any shell. It is required to fill the shells in step-by-step manner. First, we have means first the atoms will be filled in K shell, then in L shell, then M and N. In this systematic manner, in this ordered manner, we will fill the electrons. So the maximum number of electrons, we know that in K shell the maximum number of electrons that can be filled are 2. After that in L shell it can be 8, here till 18, and here it's 32, and it will goes on increasing. So on the basis of this we are going to see how the electrons are arranged. Okay, so just look at your book, page number 50. Here the picture schematic atomic structure of the first 18 elements is given. On the basis of that picture we are going to see how the electrons are arranged. Okay, so the atomic structure of the first 18 elements is shown schematically in figure 4.4. See, in case of hydrogen, In case of hydrogen, what is happening here? Hydrogen only has one electron, okay, as it's hydrogen only has one electron. That's why its first electron will goes in K shell and only one electron will be there in its K shell. Just look at the book, as I have these many shells, that's why I didn't have rubbed that. I'm going to show you all the electron arrangement in this picture only, as I do not have that much space. So just look into your book, okay. So hydrogen has one electron, that's why that one electron will be arranged in K shell, okay. Now move towards right. Helium. Helium has 2 as its atomic number, and as it has 2 as its atomic number means it has 2 electrons in it. So as we know that K shell can accommodate maximum 2 number of electrons, that's why here in K shell only the second electron will be directed. Now here we know that the K shell can maximum occupy only 2 electrons. So from here we can conclude that as helium has 2 means full electron in its K shell, as it doesn't have need to take electron from any other element to complete its orbit according to 2n square rule, it is more stable element, okay. That's why it is known as what? Inert gases. There are few elements which have this, some with stable electronic configuration, means they didn't have any need, means they didn't have उनको किसी और इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की ना तो ज़रूरत है, ना उनके पास कमी है और ना उनके पास ज़्यादा है कि वो किसी को दे दें, okay. So that's why they are known as what? The stable elements, inert gases, okay, or noble gases you may say. So here helium is one of them, as the K shell occupies 2 electrons and it is stable in configuration, okay. Now see lithium. Lithium has 3 electrons, and we know that now here, from here we can conclude that our K shell is full, as K shell only can accommodate 2 electrons. So K is full. Now the third electron of lithium will move to L shell, okay. So the third electron will be in L shell. Now with beryllium, fourth element is what? Beryllium. Beryllium has how many electrons? It has 4 electrons. So now here also, now it can L shell can accommodate 8 electrons, that's why its fourth electron will be filled in this shell only, L shell. Now boron. Boron has 5 electrons, so here it will accommodate here, okay. Carbon has 6 electrons, so see 2 are here, 3 are here, 3 and 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as it has 6 electrons, so here 4 electrons in L shell and 2 are already present in K shell, okay. Now nitrogen has 7 electrons in total, so we are going to adjust that here only, okay. Nitrogen. Then oxygen has 8 electrons, so here it will be adjusted. Then fluorine has how much electrons? Fluorine has 9 electrons in total, so you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 are complete. Then the next element is neon. Neon has 10 electrons incomplete, okay. It has 10 number of electrons, so Now here you can see how much electrons are filled in this K shell. In K shell, sorry, L shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 electrons are there, and neon has 10 electrons in total. So from here we can conclude that we can see here that 2 electrons are present in L shell, K shell, sorry, and one last electron will be accommodated here in its L shell. Okay, now again here you can see this. We know that this thing that K shell can occupy two number of electrons, maximum 2 number of electrons. L shell can occupy 8 number of electron, maximum 8 number of electrons. So here you can see that here in the case of neon, all the 8 electrons are present. Okay, so as we have seen in the case of helium, that helium has stable electronic configuration as it has the maximum number of electrons present in that orbit as they are required. In the same way, neon also has 8 number of electrons in its L shell, and it has the stable electronic configuration. So second inert gas is what? It is neon. Okay. Now again you will see with the electronic configuration of sodium ion, Na. The symbol of sodium is Na. Now here we can see that this L shell is complete with filling the electrons. As we know, the maximum number of electrons present in the L shell will be 8. So for the electronic configuration of sodium, what we will do? We will adjust the electrons now. We will fill the electrons now in M shell. Okay. So you can see here that sodium has in total 11 electrons, as till 10. Neon has still 10 electrons. Now sodium has 11 electrons. So its 11th electron, the 11th electron of sodium will be filled in M shell here. Okay. Now for magnesium, magnesium has 12 electrons. So we'll adjust this here. Okay, in M shell. Now aluminium has 13 electrons. So here we can accommodate. Now you can count these electrons too. See, if we are talking about aluminium has 13 electrons in total. So you can count this too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it has 13 electrons in total. Now, if we talk about silicon, after aluminium, it's silicon. In silicon, the number of electrons present are 14. So, in M shell only we are going to adjust that. Okay. After that, silicon, it's phosphorus. Phosphorus has 15 electrons. So, here we are going to adjust its 15th electron in M shell. Then sulfur. Sulfur has 16 electrons. So here we will adjust with sulfur. Then it's chlorine. Chlorine has 17 electrons. Okay. And then argon has 18 electrons. Okay. So in case of argon, again here the condition is that of the inert gas, or you may say it's the condition for noble gas. As here till in M shell, the number of electrons present in M shell are 18. Right? The total number of electrons filled till the shell M shell is electron in the case of argon. That's why this element is also a stable element, and it is known as a noble gas or an inert gas, as it does not have a tendency, or you may say its requirement to gain electron or to give the electron to any other element to get stabilized. It's a stable element as it fulfills the total maximum number of electrons that we are supposed to be, that they are supposed to be present in these number of shells. Okay, so this is what about the electronic configuration. Hope you are clear with this. Again, go through this, just draw the structure with your own, it's your homework. Again, if you have any doubt, you can ask me this. Okay, it's an important part. Electronic configuration is an important part of the important part from this chapter. This is going to be for lifetime. Okay, this is very important. In class 11th and 12th also you are going to see this, and also if you pursue a science degree in future, then this is going to be help you. So just go through this. Okay, so this is what about, this is about how the electrons are going to be filled in these orbits. Okay, now our second topic is about valency. Okay, now what we are going to learn, we are going to learn about valency. What is valency? So just look at your book. Valency. Valency is what? We have learned how the electrons in an atom are arranged in different shells and orbit. The electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom are known as valence electrons. So the number of electrons present in the outermost shell are known as what? They are known as valence electrons. So the valence electron for different atom are different. In case of hydrogen, the number of electrons present in the outermost shell is 1. So in case of hydrogen, then a valence electron will be what? The valence electron will be only 1. In case of helium, the valence electrons are 2. For lithium, the valence electron, now here you can see, till helium, we know that the electronic configuration is stable here. Now, in case of lithium, the first electron is filled in, the third electron is filled in L shell. So, for lithium, the outermost shell will be what? That will be L. So, what we know till here, that the outermost electron is known as valence electron. So, in case of lithium, what is going to happen? So, in case of lithium, valence electron will be what? The number of valence electron is only 1. Why? Because only one electron is present in the outermost shell. Is it did you understand this thing? Okay. Now see, in case of beryllium, beryllium has 2 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay. In this case, in such manner, the number of valence electrons goes on increasing. Okay. So on the basis of these valence electrons, we are going to see what is valency actually. Okay. So now see, from the Borsbury scheme, we also know that the outermost shell of an atom can accommodate a maximum of 8 electrons. It was observed that the atoms of an element have a completely filled outermost shell show little chemical activity. In other words, their combining capacity or valency is 0. So we have seen that in case of helium, neon and argon, what is happening? They have completely filled, means stable electronic configuration, they have completely filled their shells. As the maximum number of electrons that can accommodate in that shell, they have completely satisfied that condition. In helium, as in K shell, the number of maximum number of electrons present that can be present in that K shell are 2 only, and helium has that. In case of neon has 8 electrons in its L shell, that is also stable. Again, in case of argon, it has total till 18 electrons in its outermost shell. So these elements are what? These elements are stable. These are, they have a complete filled outermost shell. Their outermost shell is filled. So they show little chemical activity. They will show little chemical activity as they have stable configuration. In other words, the combining capacity or valency is 0. In other words, what we can say, the combining capacity, as their electron, their outermost shell is full, so they will not easily combine with any other element for the sharing or for transferring the electrons. So valency is what? Valency is the combining capacity of any element. The capacity through which it can combine with any other element is known as what? Valency. Now see here. Of these inert gases, the helium atom has 2 electrons in its outermost shell, and all other elements have atoms with 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Okay, this we have seen. The combining capacity of an atom of other elements, that is their tendency to react and form molecules with atom of the same or different groups, different elements, was thus explained an attempt to attain a fully filled outermost shell. The outermost shell, which has 8 electrons, was said to possess an octet. Atoms would thus react so as to achieve an octet in the outermost shell. This was done by sharing, gaining or losing electrons. The number of electrons gained, lost or shared so as to make the octet of electron in the outermost shell gives us directly the combining capacity of an element. That is the valency discussed in previous chapter. Okay. So from here what we can conclude, that here what we have seen, the rule, second rule of filling the electron is, the second rule is that the outermost shell has 8 electrons. Without that we cannot move forward to fill the electron. So it's compulsory that for any stable element to get stable, it is required that it has 8 electrons in its outermost shell. But in these elements with lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, what is happening? See, they doesn't have proper electrons, means they doesn't have total number of 8 electrons in the outermost shell, right? उनके पास इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं है, और ये मीन्स उनको ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट करना होता है, उनको अपना शेल कंप्लीट करना होता है कि उनके पास आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट में 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रहे. सो ये जो एलिमेंट्स है जिनके इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एल शेल में फिल किए जाते हैं, उनके केस में तो हम कह सकते हैं कि 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन फिल कर सकते हैं, बट जो नियरली है, जो पास के एलिमेंट्स हैं, वो इतने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कहाँ से लाएंगे? जैसे लिथियम, बेरिलियम, बोरॉन, ये एलिमेंट्स इतने सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कहाँ से लाएंगे अपने आप को 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लाने के लिए, स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए? सो इन केस में, इस केस में क्या होता है, वो स्टेबल होने के लिए वो 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का वेट नहीं करते, वो स्टेबल होने के लिए इन 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पे डिपेंडेंट रहते हैं. बिकॉज दे नोज द थिंग दैट, बिकॉज एवरीवन नोज द थिंग दैट K shell can accommodate maximum 2 number of electrons and it is also stable. As we have seen in the case of helium, that helium has 2 number of electrons, still it is stable. So वो फिर क्या करते हैं, वो सिर्फ 2 के बेसिस पे रहते हैं. तो यहाँ से हम कह सकते हैं नाउ ये जो सारे एलिमेंट्स हैं, इनको ऑक्टेट को ऑब्टेन करना होता है. मीन्स उनको अपना जो आउटर मोस्ट शेल है उसमें 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कैसे भी करके फिल करने होते हैं. या तो वो 8 करेंगे या तो फिर सब निकाल लेंगे. तो अब जो पास के जैसे लिथियम और ये सब हैं, ये सब क्या करेंगे, अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन दे देते हैं ताकि वो 2 के स्टेबल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन में आ सके, के शेल तक ही स्टेबल रहें. ठीक है. तो ये स्टेबल होने के लिए क्या क्या करते हैं, शेयरिंग, गेनिंग और लूजिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन. या तो वो किसी के साथ शेयर कर लेते हैं म्यूचुअली, मीन्स दोनों क्या कंबाइन करके टोटल 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स उनके आउटर मोस्ट शेल में, या तो फिर क्या करते हैं, गेनिंग, किसी से बोरो करते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन, और नहीं तो फिर लूज करते हैं. ठीक है, लूज करके वो अपना एटॉमिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन स्टेबल करते हैं. पर यहाँ पर लिथियम, बेरिलियम, बोरॉन, इनके पास तो कम इलेक्ट्रॉन है, विथ वो इतना सारा 5-6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कहाँ से लाएंगे अपने आप को स्टेबल करने के लिए? तो उनके पास ईजियर ऑप्शन क्या होता है कि वो अपना जो आउटर मोस्ट शेल में 1 या 2 या 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन है वो दे दें, किसी को दे देंगे तो क्या होगा भाई, हम 2 में ही खुश हैं, हम स्टेबिलिटी 2 में अचीव कर लेंगे. तो इसलिए वो अपने जो आउटर मोस्ट शेल के इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है वो किसी को दे देते हैं. तो ये जो दे देते हैं ना, इसी को जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वो दे देते हैं ना, जितने वो दे सकते हैं, आउटर मोस्ट शेल के इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, उसी को हम क्या कहते हैं, उसी को हम कहते हैं उनकी कंबाइनिंग कैपेसिटी। वो किसी और एलिमेंट्स के साथ कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स देकर या लेकर कंबाइन हो रहे हैं, दैट इज नोन एज इट्स कंबाइनिंग कैपेसिटी, और यू मे कॉल दैट एज इट्स वैलेंसी। इज इट क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू? सो अब हमने ये तो देख लिया कि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जिनके पास, ऐसे एलिमेंट जिनके पास इलेक्ट्रॉन कम है वो कैसे अपनी वैलेंसी शो करेंगे। अब हम देखेंगे कि जिनके पास 8 तक पहुंचने के लिए बस थोड़ी सी ही है, जिनके आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट में 7 या 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, तो अब वो इतने सारे 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स किसी को दे देंगे क्या? नहीं देंगे। अब उनको भी तो स्टेबल होना है, उनको भी आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट में अपने आप को 8 ऑक्टेट के फॉर्म में बनाना है, अपने आप को स्टेबल करना है। तो वहां पर क्या होगा, वहां पर वो किसी और से बोरो करेंगे, किसी और से बोरो करेंगे। तो वो कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स किसी और से बोरो करेंगे, दैट इज नोन एज देयर वैलेंसी। ठीक है, तो हर एलिमेंट के लिए अपनी अपनी वैलेंसी अलग होती है। सो ओके, so on page number 51 here a table is given in which here complete valency means the total complete electronic configuration, how many electrons are filled in K, L, M, N shell, and along with the valency it is given in this chart. So just go through this chart. Okay, so now so they can said to have the valency 1. See, for example, hydrogen, lithium, sodium atom contain 1 electron each in their outermost shell. Hydrogen, lithium and sodium have can lose 1 electron, so they can said to have valency 1. हाइड्रोजन एक दे सकता है, सोडियम के पास 11 है, 10 तक फिल है वो, और लास्ट का आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट में 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, देखा हमने, तो वो एक दे सकता है किसी को, तो इसलिए उसकी वैलेंसी क्या होगी, उसकी वैलेंसी भी 1 होगी. So they are said to have valency 1. Can you tell what is the valency of magnesium and aluminium? Magnesium and aluminium. Magnesium has till 12 electrons. So till here, till L shell, the electronic configuration is stable to that. Now in case of sodium, we have seen sodium has 1 electron in its M shell. Now in case of magnesium, it has 2 electrons, as it has 12 electrons in total. So it has 2 electrons in its outermost shell. So what it will do, it will also donate its 2 electrons to other element. So the valency of magnesium is what? Valency of magnesium is 12. In case of aluminium, aluminium has 3 electrons in its outermost orbit, M shell. So in case of aluminium, the valency will be what? Valency will be 3. Okay, so it is 2 and 3 respectively, because magnesium has 2 electrons in its outermost shell and aluminium has 3 electrons in its outermost shell. Now यहाँ तक तो हमने देखा कि वो लूज कर रहे हैं, इसलिए उनकी वैलेंसी 1 2 3 3. Now 3 4 3.